DJI have completely innovated with this brand new controller. It's called the DJI RC Pro 2. It's a very exciting design from DJI, a full rotatable screen. It flips down and goes into sleep mode, and it works with a bunch of different drones. I'm really impressed with what they've done here. So it works with the Mavic 4 Pro as expected along the launch. It works with the Air 3S, the Air 3, and the Mini 4 Pro at this point, at the time of me making this video. So quite an extensive offering here. It's great that this works with some of the recent releases from DJI, and I'm very excited to see it coming out alongside the Mini 4 Pro as well. What's going on, guys? My name is Dan Davis and I'm the creative director here on DansTube.TV, and I've got my full review on the RC Pro 2 today. Now, I've been using it exclusively with the Mavic 4 Pro, but love to see the additional compatibility support with this brand new Pro controller. Now, let's start off by talking about the build quality and the buttons that are available on this controller, because there are a few exclusive buttons that you can probably see straight away. We've got this dial here. We've got a 5D button, which we've seen from DJI in the past with other devices. There's a back button. If we look under here, you'll see there's a full-size HDMI cable, array of mics here that work really well, microphones. So it's got an inbuilt microphone system, a USB-C, and a micro SD. Now, it does have inbuilt storage, which I'll get into throughout this video, but really love the build quality of this unit. Flipping it over, you can see we've got a C1 and a C2 button. We've got antennas that fold down, so I find that really comfortable. I actually love that design. It just pokes down like that, so you just angle the controller towards wherever the drone is, and then they fold up nicely. Just on the top section here, we've got a shutter button, which you can press down to get the focus point and then press a bit further to capture a photo. You've got a record button and then two dials here, which you can program alongside the C1 and C2 buttons to get even more functionality. So it's got a bunch of functionality here. Another thing to mention, there is a power button. So you can press that to put it into sleep mode and to wake it up again. Now, if I just fold this down, you will see on the angle that the thumbsticks go down with it. So you never have to take the thumbsticks off, which is just amazing. I absolutely love that. On the back here, we have this little port here, this little section. And so this is where you can connect up a dongle, right? Because there's the DJI dongle. They've got a few different dongles, so I believe it would be the latest dongle, which I checked out on the channel not long ago. Definitely go and check that video out. I will have to test this at some point, but it will work with select dongles, and it's got the USB-C there, it's got the connection point for the antennas, and that's literally built into the unit itself. So you've got that little plastic protection that protects it and covers it up. Let's just move it to the side for now. And then that's the controller itself. So when I unfold it, even when it's in sleep mode, it will immediately wake up and get ready to go. I love how quick this setup in particular is to get up in the air, like quicker than ever, honestly. Straight when you unfold the drone, it will power on the drone. And straight when I unfold this, it will power on the controller, right? The RC Pro 2. So I just have to unfold the screen and it will launch straight away. And you can see how quick the boot time is in the background. It will launch immediately into the DJI Fly app and it's ready to go. Honestly, one of the quickest flight experiences alongside the Mavic 4 Pro. Straight when, by default, I put the screen down, it goes into sleep mode. If I fold it up like so, I can also rotate the screen, and that will actually adjust the camera here as well. So the whole camera will flip on the Mavic 4 Pro. So I can flip the screen now, and it's going to flip the camera on the drone. You can see it goes into true vertical mode and it does it flawlessly. I can also go into view, whatever I need to view, and I can flip it this way to get a completely different feed. And then if I was looking at a vertical video, which I can't think of which one of these is a vertical video, but it will display vertical for me. So obviously I can display like that, flip it and get full screen, and then flip it back. And it just works flawlessly. It's a really great experience. I've been extremely impressed with this so far. Here's a vertical video here. So all I have to do is flip it and it will display the video in its true vertical format. Really impressive. I've also been extremely impressed with the range of motion when it comes to the tilt screen, right? So I can tilt it all the way back like that. I can pull it forward. It hits a certain point when it goes to sleep, so you can't pull it too far that way, but you can tilt it fully back so that you can have a look at it like that. I never have any issues with interacting with thumbsticks and knocking into the screen, that's completely fine. If it's like that, you can't rotate it. So you kind of have to angle it enough so that you can rotate it. But even like that, I've got a fair bit of range of motion, right? I can do it flat like that. I can angle it back. There's a fair bit of rotation here, and it's quite impressive to see how much you can move that screen around. The build quality here feels amazing, really high grade stuff. Now let's have a look at some of these newer settings here, these newer dials as such that we can play around with. So we've got this dial here, which as we adjust when it's in the auto mode, it will adjust the EV. So we can fully adjust the EV when it's in the auto mode. In the pro mode here, I can go between a few different settings in the bottom right here. So you can see I'm adjusting the ISO now. I can tap to go to the shutter speed. I can then press the button in and go across to aperture. So there's a lot of control I have here over the drone. It really is impressive to see how much I can play around with this. I'm getting the aperture all the way down to 2, which is really cool. And this just means that if you're wearing gloves, for example, you're out in a really cold area, it makes it hard to tap and adjust the settings. So the fact that you can adjust that and you don't have to touch the screen at all is really, really handy. If I go into the play here, I can then use that dial still to go between all these different settings here. I can tap on it, press play, right? And then I can use that dial to go between different ones. I can tap it again, press it to pause. If I go to a photo, for example, like this, press it once to zoom in, press it once to zoom out. So you've got some really nice controls here. Great to see that I have this control and I can go back at any point, go between it. So if you are wearing gloves or you're finding it's hard to interact with the screen for whatever reason, or you don't want to, touch the screen and grease it up, then you can do this and it works flawlessly. The 5D button here is a great option. We've seen 5D buttons from DJI in the past, but this gives us a lot of control. So that means I've got 5 different directions depending on what I'm doing. I can go left, down, right, up, and I can press it in. That's the 5D. You can see it's just this little toggle here. As such, it feels really natural to use. With the 5D button, I have a lot of control options. So I can press the 3 dots, go into control, go to button customization. You can see 5D here. There's a lot of different options. So you've got lower, upper, left, right, and mid. And you can tap on it and adjust all sorts of settings through here. As you can see, there's a lot of options. Vision assist, cruise control, the light, follow or FPV mode, in the camera, focus track, explore mode, all sorts of options here. And you can customize that with the 5D button. So it gives you just more functionality here, more at a glance kind of information just to tap something and go into it a little bit quicker. So for example, if I go right, it takes me straight into the playback. And then obviously I can use that to go between the settings. I can go back, right? And it'll take me back into the screen. But then if I want to go back, I just press right. So you can do it without touching the screen at all. Go between, view your footage, zoom in, make sure everything's framed nicely, come back. It just works really well with the back button alongside these other 2 buttons here. Through the button customization options here, you do have a lot of different settings, a lot of different control here. Now, what's very cool about this, through the settings, I can customize the C1, C2. I can customize all of the 5 different options with the 5D button. Using the right dial by default will zoom in and out, which you can kind of see in the background there. You can see it zooming in to my arm there. And then the left is the tilt. So the left dial is tilt up and down. The right dial is zoom in and out. And that's by default, but then you can obviously tap on it and adjust all sorts of things through here. So you can adjust aperture, shutter speed, zoom in and out, focal length, all sorts of stuff in here. Really great stuff. You can even make it so it goes between the different cameras. So many options. Adjusting aperture is hold C2 plus right dial, which again, this is just all by default, but you can play around with whatever works. For me, I'm actually using the C1 and the right dial to do the full rotation mode. So you can see the drone, the camera is rotating fully in the background. But if I want, I can just make it the right dial. So if it's too complicated to press the button and do that, I can make the right dial instead of making that the zoom, which it currently is. I can make that the gimbal roll, right? And if I tap it in, it resets it. So a lot of different options here to play around with how you want your experience to be. And it is a custom experience depending on what you want to use here. And at any point you just reset it back to default. So I'm really impressed with how many options we have. If you're in the market for any DJI drones, cameras, or accessories, and you're based in Australia, make sure to reach out to the D1 store, sales@d1store.com.au, mention DansTube, and they'll be able to help you out with the best deal they can. You can also use the code DansTube on select drones, cameras, and accessories through their website to save that way. But I'd recommend reaching out to them directly and just seeing what they can do. Set up a bundle if you're looking for a few different things. They'll be able to help you out there. And I'll also have some links down below for my international viewers. So go down there and check out all of my different deals. Let's talk about the screen, because this is a gorgeous display and I'm extremely impressed. It feels like a huge upgrade from what we saw with the Osmo Pocket 3, which is what I'm using right now. That rotating screen that goes from, you know, landscape to portrait is phenomenal, built really nicely, nice and solid. This is what it looks like on the back. Nice high grade device that they're using here. The screen is really high grade. So it's a 7-inch mini LED. Its peak brightness is 2000 nits, which is quite impressive. 10-bit color support, so you can see the true 10-bit through the screen itself. Real-time HDR footage. So that's with the Mavic 4 Pro. You get like full HDR through the experience while you're flying it, which is great to be able to see that in real time. It's also got, you know, accurate representations of D-Log, D-Log-M, HLG, and a bunch of the other formats and settings through here. So it does a great job of displaying it all. It is a 1920 by 1200 display at 60 frames per second, and it's got a 4-hour battery life. So 4 hours you're getting out of this device of flight time, and then you can charge it. Does not take long at all to charge. The other thing, like I mentioned before, is that we do have built-in mic support here. So you can narrate everything as you're flying the drone. You can just use that through there, no issues at all. The RC Pro 2 has a lot of power, and I'm not exaggerating. It really is a powerful system. It's a full built-in operating system, so I can go back, see the photo that I captured the other day, which looks phenomenal. I really love that as a background. I can come in, I can see the different apps. Obviously, I can install different apps if I go into Firefox here and start going into, you know, different APKs, for example, to maybe get like a third-party flight controller or weather or whatever it may be that I want to get. It isn't fully integrated, like you don't just have the Play Store here and you can go in and download. So you do need to download an APK and do some research. I'm sure that there will be some more support going forward, but we've got the gallery, files, the DJI Fly, Firefox, settings, and guide, and that's it for the main setting. As you swipe down, you've got some options here. So you can connect to Wi-Fi, you've got Bluetooth, airplane mode, do not disturb, screen recording, the screenshot mode, and mobile data. We can adjust the brightness here or just have it on adaptive, whatever you want. You can obviously mute it or adjust the volume because you can hear back. There's great speakers on this system. So if you record something, you can actually hear it back straight through here. So if I come in here, this will be annoying, but just listen. You'll hear the beeping because the battery was low. But this is the video, me flying towards the mountain. And then I'm obviously getting the feedback from the microphone, which is coming from the inbuilt mic system here. Does a great job with all of that. So I can't wait to see more third-party support here. It normally comes out for these Pro controllers where more APKs from developers come out and it's a lot easier to download. I would love to see just a Play Store here, like the Google Play Store, just here on the home screen, and I could download apps. That would be great to see. But there are workarounds for that, and you can figure out ways to use that. Now, in the actual DJI Fly application, this to me is really impressive. So I can click on Create, and I can flip the screen like so, come into New Project, and we're just going to dump in this footage that I got the other day. All right, we're just going to put that in. And so I can fully edit everything I need to edit on this device. Now, I have a friend, Jeff, shout out Jeff. He edits a lot of his stuff on his Pro controller. So for him, this would be ideal because you've got full control. You can scrub through the footage, you can adjust, you know, the resolution for the export. So it's 2.7K, I've got it at 60 frames per second. You know, you can adjust the dimensions, what you're looking for. Do you want 16 by 9? Do you want 9 by 16, right? Do you want it to go for a vertical, you know, like this? And I can zoom in and move it around. Now, this then just saves onto the device. I can then log into my social media accounts and I can have full control, right, to do all of that without any issues. I can obviously come in here and play around with filters. There's lots of different options here. It's quite a powerful editing system. And it just works because I've saved the video onto the device, and the device itself, the controller, has 128 gigabytes of storage. So I can store some footage on here, come through, add some text, do a full edit if I wanted to, and then export it fully. It's literally that simple. It's very powerful. And this is a great addition for a lot of people. I could see a lot of people really using this, getting their content out while they're out and about, doing their thing, traveling, or whatever it may be. So that's a powerful feature. I've been very impressed with the editor. So that's basically on this screen here where you go create. It's just available as a full editor. In the top right corner, they recently added the DJI simulator. Now this is a full simulator experience. You can fly the Mavic 4 Pro entirely, and it does a great job. So you can come in, immersive flight, come in here, right? I can move this robot guy around, place the aircraft. So I can fly the Mavic 4 Pro. As you can see, I've got full control to do the rotating feature. To get used to that, I can then reset the gimbal, do everything you can imagine. I can go up here, use the 6x camera system to get that full zoom in to see what that would look like. I can still rotate in that mode, although it's a lot slower. You've got the full map render here, so I can see the map and where to fly. You can put it in cruise control. There are going to be waypoints very soon. You can see there's cars driving around. I'm sure they'll probably add like tracking, I would imagine, at some point. And everything operates as you would expect it to. You can even go into the settings, and I can put on like the bypass mode. So if I try to fly towards something, the drone's going to stop. So it just gives you an idea of like what to expect when you're out and about. I can at any point just go, no, I'm going to turn that off, and then start flying towards these stairs. And there's a full crash effect, crash physics that operate at that point. And I can zoom in to this drone, the Mavic 4 Pro, and it's a full render of the drone, right? Like I can zoom in and see that is the Mavic 4 Pro. I can see at what point I made contact, and it will show me then, okay, well, that was the point you made contact. I can play it back and show, you know, what that experience was like, but it's hyper realistic. Like even when I'm flying and, you know, I'm like turning a lot, which I'll just do here, and then we'll just crash it so you can see. So you'll see how realistic it is when it's turning, and it honestly does feel like you're flying the Mavic 4 Pro. It doesn't feel, you know, like it's a dumbed down version at all. Like as you're flying, all the maneuvers feel, you know, they look the same. The drone literally looks like that. It's clearly a very realistic render of what it's like to fly the drone. And so I'm really impressed with that. That's a great feature. And that came out on the RC Pro 2 as well as the RC2. So it's available on both of these controllers now. Like I said, the controller has got 128 gigabytes of storage. It's got a full file management system. So I can come in here. I can see the movies that I've downloaded, which a lot of these are screenshots. I can then come in and go into video, for example, and I can go, okay, well, I've got the movies here, which is that. Or if I go into the DJI album, and from here, you know, I can just tap on this one, and there we go. We've got a really nice video. It displays beautifully on the 7-inch mini LED. Amazing quality. Like you can see how high grade this is. I can obviously turn up the brightness, and it just looks gorgeous. Really does look gorgeous. The RC Pro 2 does have OcuSync 4 Plus technology, so you're getting 30 kilometers of range from this controller. You'll never need that, and it's unsafe and unrealistic, but just having that extra wiggle room makes a huge difference if there is potential for interference in the area. And it's amazing in terms of that connection point, no latency, no delays. It's a very powerful controller as well. Like you'll see some footage that I'll pop up now, and it shows just how amazing the processing power is. So I can put it in the focus track mode, and it will literally like put pluses everywhere, over all the cars, over all the boats, over anything it can track. It's going to put pluses all over them, and you can fully just see exactly what you want to track, tap on it, and it's going to track that thing. Even though there's so much going on, it doesn't slow down, it doesn't have issues processing the amount of stuff in its environment. It's just able to process it, and that comes down to both the hardware on, you know, both units as well as the software. It's just flawless. The RC Pro 2 also has dynamic home points, so it updates in real time. So if you were to take off, you would have the option to then go into the dynamic home points, and it works really well. The fact that you can use that means that you can be in a vehicle and it's going to update the home point as you're driving. So instead of you driving for kilometers and then the drone thinking it needs to go back to its takeoff point, it will just follow you, and it can keep up to date with that dynamic home point there. So you can update the home point, but when it's in flight, you have full dynamic home point updates. So perfect if you're driving in a car or someone's driving and you're in the passenger seat. The built-in mic system is a great addition. The fact that I can record, so straight when I press record up here, you will see there is a little mic icon. So I can just click away and it's going to record everything that I'm recording as I'm talking through it, and it's just going to connect it all together. Really great for me for all the tutorial content I do. Great for other people if they want to find, you know, maybe you're filming for a few minutes, but there was a moment where it was phenomenal. Let's say you're capturing, I don't know, some wildlife or something, and you're able to just go, oh my God, like this is the one, yep. And then you're able to say that and go, yep, use this footage here, and it will just peak the audio and you can see that. Really great feature. And you can use that USB-C to plug in the Mic Mini and the Mic 2, and I've done a full video on that, and it works flawlessly. The fact that I have control over, you know, what microphone I use as well, which is really great. There is also improved live streaming here, so I can go into transmission, and it's still just an RTMP, but there is apparently some third-party stuff coming soon, some third-party live streaming support. The HDMI output is also available here, so I can just go live view only, or I can have screen mirroring if I want everything else or the display here. So that's also nice to see. And so that's everything about the RC Pro 2. It's a phenomenal controller. Overall, it's been my favorite controller experience to date. It just has everything you need, literally everything you need from a controller. I'm just tilting up 70 degrees. There we go. What a flattering image of me. Here I am, guys. Hey. What's going on? You didn't see much of my face in this video. But yeah, so this is the best controller I've used from DJI. It just does everything you need it to do, right? Like I just went through all the features, and there's going to be more that's going to be added, I'm sure, at some point. There's a lot of stuff that I need to go into more depth in a tips and settings video for the controller. But just the fact that it works flawlessly, the fact that I can put it into sleep mode, wake it up, rotate, which then rotates, you know, over here, it will rotate the camera system. No issues with that. I can then obviously just, you know, rotate the camera as well. So I can set it back to its default like that. And then you have full control to rotate the camera system. It just is such an impressive controller. Very responsive, great display. I love all the power of it. The fact that I can edit through here, the fact that I've got the simulator, you know, the fact that there's all those settings and options available. It's the best controller that I've used on a drone. And the thing that's amazing is this is what you interface with most of the time. Yes, the drone, the Mavic 4 Pro, is phenomenal, but the fact that you're using this controller, like that's the majority of the experience. The drone's far away typically. So, you know, the drone is something you don't truly experience when it's flying, right? It's just out there and you just trust the process. But this is what you interface with. This is the connection to the human. And so for them to put so much love into this is amazing to see. I honestly think it's well worth looking into. Even if you've got one of the other supported drones, the Air 3S, Air 3, or the Mini 4 Pro, or if you've got the Mavic 4 Pro, this is the controller to save up for. It just takes it to that next level, and you're absolutely going to fall in love with the experience. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate all the support, and I'll chat to you in the next one. Peace.